have a more clear and concise values and characteristics going into the entire year instead of, we had a bit of a choppy start with that last year.
Lots of young kids,
Yeah,
like
very,
really
very
young kids.
I know, I'm old now.
Coming in.
Feeling it.
Have you been able to talk to any of those kids coming in? Have you guys started?
We have. We've already been in for a week, so
okay.
It's been a good start. It is very young, but it's really exciting. They all came in with such incredible smiles, and like they're just so excited to learn and be there. And I think that's such an incredible characteristic to come in with. It just is completely open-minded and ready to listen and work and grow, and that will allow us to bond together as a team in the way that we want to go forward.
So Alex is gone, and
She's gone.
Nay looks like she's leaving too. Does that mean that you become more of a leader? Do you step into the role as like the savvy veteran?
I think I'm just continuing what I've been doing. Yeah, we've lost some veterans in the league, and I think we've already had some people step up in those opportunities, and I think maybe they're not as big in the media or big in personality, but they've really taken the team and held us together in the last 6 months, and I think we're going to continue to do that going forward and build that even stronger. And maybe it's something that hasn't really been seen outside of our team, but it's something that's been there, and we've needed it, especially in these harder times.
One last question. What do you think about the Northern Super League?
I'm so excited.
Yeah, and tell me a little bit about, have you been in contact with Diana?
Absolutely. Yeah, so Diana and I played together years ago, and we still keep in touch, and she came into camp a couple months ago, which was really nice to reconnect with her and just get a better understanding of the NSL. And I remember, 10 years ago or so, she said it. She was going to do it. And we all were like, that's incredible. We're so excited, but she really, I think everybody said it. We all said it back then that we wanted a Canadian league, and Dee is the only person that could have actually made it possible, and she really did it. And it's just so incredible and inspiring to see everything that she's done, not only for Canada, but for soccer in general. It's opening up so many more pathways for other players coming out of college right now, coming over from overseas, and I can't wait to watch. And it's just really cool to have that opportunity in the back of my head of that's somewhere I could go.
Along those same lines, what does that say about the growth of women's soccer that Canada now has a women's soccer
Massive.
league?
It's massive. I think I actually was having a conversation with Steph the other day, Labe at Rise. Obviously we have a really good relationship from playing together for years, and we were just talking about every time there's a signing, it's a Canadian that I didn't know was playing professionally, and that's because there wasn't an opportunity for us to see them, and they were getting lost in the system. And right now it's an opportunity for them to be under the spotlight, and that'll provide us with more of a pathway and more options for people coming in to challenge and make our team the best it can be. Because I think we kind of got stuck with a pool that wasn't as big as it could have been, and now our pool is going to expand massively, and it's going to challenge all of us, which is ultimately for the best.
So you've got a coaching change, roster change, ownership change.
Keep going.
What will be the most significant in 2025?
I think I said before the coaching change is going to be huge. It's a complete new staff, which kind of is an opportunity to start over. Obviously players is massive as well, but with a coaching change, that's a whole tactical change, and that's kind of what leads the group. If we had some staff that stayed with us, the players obviously would be a big difference. They would have to come in and adapt to the style, but now we're starting with a new style. So it's an opportunity for the staff to kind of make their mark, and the players to learn and to grow together. But ultimately that'll be a big task for us in this preseason, is to be able to be on the same page and have the same structure that the staff is bringing in.
And just one more here, considering the current rumors, how significant, how important is Naomi Dearman to the team on and off the field?
Yeah, she's a massive piece. I think we all know she's the best center back in the world, and I've been lucky enough to play with her for a couple years. But ultimately, she's got to do whatever is best for her, and the team will survive. I think that's an awesome opportunity for other players who are there, who have had this chance to work alongside of her, to work behind her, and now step up and show that they're just as good, and they have an opportunity now to really prove that. And I'm really excited for a couple players that are going to have that opportunity.
Drop the names. You mentioned that. You've already said, there's a couple players that, we're not.
You're going to see it. I don't need to tell you. You're going to see it. I know. No, I think.
Hype up your teammates.
Yeah, I think I will. I think Kennedy Wesley is an incredible talent, and she hasn't been given the opportunities that she deserves or given the spotlight that she needs to grow and flourish. I think she's within 6 to 8 months of actually being able to play and train with her. The growth that I've seen is remarkable, and I'm just really excited to continue to watch her journey. I don't need to be a part of it the whole time, but I really feel lucky that I am.
Spoke with Cammy a little while ago, and she mentioned as a GM that yes, it's pretty obvious that the team is going through a little bit of a rebuild, and people kind of shy away from that word a little bit, but maybe there's opportunity in that as well. Not to bring up old memories,
I understand.
but like you're someone who have kind of maybe been a part of that. You've seen Sky Blue.
I've seen many rebuilds.
You've been through it. So like, what are maybe some of the guiding points that you can offer her as someone who's been through that? Like, hey, this isn't scary. Like, we're gonna be fine.
Yeah, I think at the end of last season there was definitely some fear factors in there that we all felt and were nervous about. But coming into the new preseason to a lot of changes physically and staff and personnel wise, I think coming in with a fresh perspective and not forgetting about the past, because that's not helpful either. I think you have to remember where you came from in order to continue to grow and not allow backtracking. But I think coming in with an open mind and just being ready to learn and work and have a goal forward instead of kind of working on redoing something is not helpful. We need to just go forward and again, remember what we've done, but we have to move forward, and we have an incredible group of players right now that I'm really stoked to work with. There's so much talent in the room. We just need to control it and structure it now. So it's going to be about how we do that.
You're still going to technically get an opportunity to work with Casey.
I am technically, yeah.
Technically, maybe not the club level, but internationally. I don't know if you have any perspective you want to share about her arrival to Cannon Soccer.
Yeah, I think it was a really exciting announcement. The feedback from the group was just really, we were all kind of shocked, but really excited to get to work. She's somebody you want to work for and work with, and I think the feeling from our first chat afterwards from the group was that she's going to be intense and she's going to push us. And I think that's what our team needs right now. We've kind of been static for a year or two, and we don't want to take a step backwards, but if we need to, this is the time, and we need to take that step in order to go forward again. We had a really good growth period for a few years, but I think everything that's gone on with us, we've kind of been level, and that's not helping anybody. And the kind of people that we have on our team, they're grinders. They just want to work. They're gritty, and I think they're up for the challenge. So it's been an exciting feeling going around. I think the first camp will be tough. She's going to push us. She's going to make us uncomfortable, and that's what we need.
And as far as the San Diego effect of that, what do you think is it going to take to kind of maybe finally shut the chapter on that and just sort of move on into 2025 for the wave post Tony?
I think we are working towards that already. I think there's been so much change that it does kind of feel like a fresh start already. A new chapter's opened. I think getting the first game under our belts at home, getting our fans to see and be excited about the team going forward is going to be huge. Obviously, we're a team that's really ingrained in our community, and our fans are really ingrained in us. And I find that really important, and it's a huge value for me going forward with the club, is that they lead and we represent them to the best of our abilities, because they have supported us no matter what since day one. And we've gone through highs and lows. Like, no matter what, they've been there, and they've been there for the players, and that's the most important thing for us. So if we can get them to see what we're able to do on day one at Snapdragon and get them to really buy into what we're trying to do, that's going to be the turning point.
Thanks.
7 years in the league.
Yeah.
You joked earlier that you're old. I'm 40, so you're doing fine.
Wait till you see the locker room.
But,
Young.
chilling fun. But how have you seen the goalkeeping position evolve since you became
Oh,
professional?
it's massive, yeah.
Especially in this league. Like, what are goalkeepers now? What are they asked to do? How has their technical ability evolved in those 7 years?
Yeah, it's huge. I think all over the world it's developed, so not just within this league, and that's an amazing point to be able to push us. I want to continue to push the position. That's something that I hold dear to my heart, is being able to be not just the best goalkeeper today, but how can I grow it and leave it in a better place than where I found it. And I think the biggest change for me is that we're the 11th player. There's not a difference between in the box, outside the box. You have to be able to do everything that they're doing out there to be able to build the play, be able to prevent the attack, be able to organize and save the ball. At the end of the day, your first goal is to prevent the ball going in the goal. So we have to do that, and I think that part's already been there, but we're expanding outside now and really changing the position, and it's only going to go forward from there. There's no going back.
Flipping it around, what are forwards in this league now compared to 2018 when you started?
Yeah, they're so much higher in technical ability. They're smarter. They're faster on the ball. Obviously, I think there's a growth in the speed of the game as well, from a numerical standpoint. But there's also they're smarter. And so things that we could maybe potentially get away with a couple years ago, we can't. We need to be just as smart as them and be ready to prevent them and make them uncomfortable.
How does that intelligence express itself? What are forwards doing that tells you, wow, they really are thinking about the game at a higher level?
Yeah, I think it's their patience in small time points when they have the ball at their feet, being comfortable, being under pressure, and not rushing a shot when necessarily they don't have to. I think in the past we would have seen rush shots that turn into easier saves or misses that we take it and we go and we're happy about it, but we don't see that as much anymore. We see people who are really comfortable under pressure, comfortable with the ball at their feet, comfortable in space, but also comfortable under immense pressure of me and a defender. So it's being able to read and see the mind process of what they're going through, but also take away as much as I can and give them the hardest shot possible. And if they get that, then I gotta just tip my hat.
Finally, as a veteran, what is your perspective on sort of the generational shift that the league is kind of going through right now? You're going to be playing with players, you have played with players who never knew a league without a CBA.
Yeah.
And here you are, straddling either side of that line. How do you see this younger generation and the way that they handle themselves on the field, off the field, compared to what you guys may have had to go through when you were younger?
Yeah, it's definitely a big shift. There's a lot of players in this league that don't have the history that some of us have with the league, where we had to really push for basic rights and opportunities to continue to grow. And I mean, this is what we wanted. This is what we pushed for and we tried to create, and they shouldn't know a league without this. This is the bare minimum, and I think we're only going to push it. My only hope for them is that they take that and they don't see it as a settling ground, but they see it as a stepping stone, and they continue to push it in the direction it needs to go.
Do you feel like that message is projected, like when the union's gathering and you have your membership?
Yeah, I think we do have some really young people who are really interested in seeing what has been done and what needs to happen. And I think we still have some veterans that maybe aren't in the league, like Alex, who's speaking out and saying, this is where I wanted it to be, and reminding them that it can still improve. And this isn't the end all be all. It's not the top of the mountain, but it's just a landing point for now.
Thanks.